Peace and love, peace and love. I know that I said that I was going to do a meditation, but I decided to switch it up just a little bit. And instead of doing a meditation, I wanted to get on here and do an affirmation. I posted it on my feed, so you'll be able to go back and reference this affirmation even after I affirm it out loud, because I feel like I don't want to just post it and then I'm not doing it myself. I feel like I'd rather when I do the meditations with you guys and I sit and I listen to it and do the meditation with you instead of delegating it and then I'm not sitting and receiving it myself. So I wanted to get on here and say this affirmation out loud. And you say these affirmations and these mantras until you believe them. It's not just a one-trick pony and then you move on and then it just automatically just changes for you. Change is something that takes time. Change is an inevitable thing and a very much needed thing, but it's not an easy thing to do. And I can be the first to say my trauma definitely has caused me to need to be in control of everything, need to know what's going on at all times because of the violation that I experienced and the abandonment that I experienced. But I have to tell myself often that what has happened is no longer happening. And so I have to believe that. And so with mantras and affirmations, you begin to believe what you are saying. It's not, like I said, it's not just a quick fix. It's not a quick fix. You have to affirm yourself daily. And so when I send you guys these affirmations and when I do these meditations, trust me when I say I'm not just doing it just for you. I do it for myself. I do it for the person who may have a similar story that I do, but they aren't at the place where they are able or ready to speak it out loud to help the next person or to even help themselves. Because when you speak your pain, you are helping yourself. When you speak your trauma out loud, you help yourself. But you have to get to a point where you are able and ready to deal with the pain from the trauma. And so the affirmation today is all about change. It's all about accepting and releasing. So you accept that you have this trauma, right? You accept that your fear of change comes from your trauma. And then you release everything that is associated with that fear and what's inevitable. And so I just wanted to break down what that affirmation is. So you accept, I accept that my trauma has caused me to fear change, right? That's the first part of it. I accept that my trauma has caused me to fear change. And then you accept, I accept, right? What are you accepting? The fear of change. The trauma that is associated with that fear, which causes you to fear change. I release. I release. I release. That's not an easy thing. Releasing is not easy. Accepting is not easy. Releasing is, I think, even harder than accepting sometimes. So I release the need to control and what's associated with my fears and what's inevitable. I release the need to control and my fears associated with what's inevitable. I release the need to control and my fears associated with what's inevitable. So I accept that my trauma has caused me to fear change, and I release what I cannot control and my fears associated with what's inevitable. Accept and release. I apologize, it kept pausing. But I just wanted to drive that point home. Accept and release. Traumas, a lot of times, are associated with our fears. And we have to do our due diligence to let these things go, to accept that these things are, and then let them go. And so instead of the meditation, I felt led in my spirit to just affirm myself and help you all affirm yourself. So whenever you watch this, you can just say it out loud to yourself. You can go on the feed and look at the mantra anytime, day, night, whenever, and say it to yourself until you begin to believe it. Change takes time. Change is inevitable. Trauma has happened. And when we get to a point where we are able to accept that trauma has happened, then that's the first step. And then you move forward in beginning to release that. Release all of the pain and the fears associated with your trauma. And the need to control everything. Because you want to feel validated in something. It takes time. And you're not by yourself. Definitely not by yourself. I'm still working on my being able to be vulnerable and speak my truth, accepting my trauma and releasing that. Those fears associated with what's inevitable. Change. Trust yourself, people. Everything that you ask for, everything that you need is already inside of you. You have to get back, pull back the layers of trauma, deal with it, talk about it, find someone to talk to. There are different forms of therapy. You have spiritual therapy, you have energy healing, you have actual therapy where you go and sit and talk to someone. There are different forms. Just talking to family and friends isn't enough, especially if those people are still in the places and spaces that hurt you. And it could be a mental thing too. Sometimes, most times, you need someone that is not connected to the situation in any way, shape, or form to help you heal. So accept the trauma and how it's caused you to fear change, and then you release what you can't control and your fears associated with what's inevitable. And what's inevitable is change. I see you. I am you. I'm with you. Let me say that again because I wasn't looking in the camera. I see you. I am you. I'm with you. And I love you. Look back at this video as many times as you need. As many times as you need to affirm yourself. You got this. I love you. With everything in me, I love you. And when I say that, I mean it. If you need to DM me to talk about whatever you need to talk about, whatever you need to release, I'm always here. And if I can't be the one to help you with whatever you need to heal from on an even deeper level, then I know people who can help you. There's always someone, there's always a way. But you gotta want it first. I can't just want it for you. Accept and release. Blessings.